Carla Knits podcast. Today is Tuesday, January 30th, and I'm coming to you with a special video about 5 quick and easy things that you can make for Valentine's Day. So recently, I have participated in a swap hosted by Darcy of Chit Knits. She was hosting a heart swap in her Ravelry group, and so the idea was to make something or maybe a couple things with hearts to pass along to a friend. And so I have 5 different finished objects that I have made over the course of January that I am going to show you today. So all of these are quick and easy. All of them were made with yarns in my stash. And most of them were made just using leftover scraps, which is really exciting. So let's go ahead and get started. First, I'll share what I'm wearing, kind of a Valentine's Day color shawl. This I made in the spring of 2021. It is called Grapefruit by Gabrielle Imbault. The original pattern photos, the shawl was done in kind of a grapefruit pink color, which I think, the name is Grapefruit. But this is a lovely 2-skein shawl with fingering weight and mohair. And if you've been around, you know how much I love pink. So I thought it was fitting to wear this on a Valentine themed video. So that's what I'm wearing, but let's go ahead and get started with these 5 projects. I have 4 knitting projects and 1 crochet project, and I'm going to go in the order that I made these. So the first one, the pattern is called Heart Dishcloths by Cecelia Fameli. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. You can use the dishcloths, I believe she said, for either a dishcloth or to make squares to put together for a blanket. There are 2 different heart sizes that come in this pattern. So one's more oblong. I chose to make the wider looking heart. And here is how it turned out. So I used, this is the only one that I used a new skein in my stash. It was in my stash. This is K&C cotton, and gosh, I can't remember the colorway. It will be in the show notes down below. But this K&C cotton, or K&C essential cotton, is a yarn that is available at Joann Fabric. If you have not tried it, it is a wonderful yarn to work with. You can kind of see how soft it is just by the drape of this. So a really quick knitting project. I didn't have a solid pink or red that I thought would go enough for a washcloth or dishcloth. So I just broke into this kind of variegated yarn, but I still think the colors work really well for Valentine's Day. So this was really fun. I always enjoy doing dishcloths that have like some kind of picture in the middle. They don't always turn out for me the best, I think, because my knitting stitches are tighter than my purl stitches, so sometimes it tends to be a little wonky. But I think overall this turned out really cute and very nice and easy to follow for a free pattern. So I definitely could see making the other heart dishcloth as well. So that is number 1. Again, free pattern. It calls for DK weight, but it's a dishcloth cotton and about 70 to 72 yards. So you certainly could use leftovers in your stash. Number 2 is the Valentine Heart Scrubbies by Darcy Laack. And this also is a free pattern. This is a knitting pattern. And here it is. This uses 2 strands of yarn held together. One is, the pattern calls for a Lily Sugars and Cream Cotton, and then a red heart scrubby. And so I happened to have red in both the scrubby and in a cotton, and I did not have a lot left over in my red cotton, but I had plenty to make this heart scrubby. The pattern says it uses between 18 to 20 yards, so this is a great leftover project, and it worked up really quick. Now, using the scrubby yarn, and you're using a big needle, I think it was a 10 or a 10.5, can be a little hard on the hands. But I just told myself, take it slow, but I still got it done, you know, over the course of a couple hours. So again, a nice quick project, fun to have for a scrubby in your kitchen. Pattern number 3 is probably my very favorite. It's called No Sew Heart by Mary Ann. It's either Walters or Waters. My writing's kind of jumbled up here. This pattern calls for 10 to 20 yards. And I am using fingering weight held double with a mohair, but you could adjust the pattern to use different weights of yarn. And you are basically making a heart in the round, and it says no sew, but on her pattern it says nearly no sew, because you do have to kind of weave in your ends and sew up the little last bits of the heart. But I have made 3 of these and I just love them. They are so easy and fun to use up scraps and just to, you know, combine different colors of mohair with different colors of yarn. So this is the first one, and I think I'm holding it close enough that you can kind of see the fuzz on there. So it is so soft, just so soft. And the second one I made is this fun purple. So all of these were just leftover fingering scraps and mohair scraps. I'm trying to think. I think both of these used a really pale pink. Actually, I think it was the leftover from the shawl. So this was held with a pretty bright, vibrant pink, and this was held with actually a pretty vivid lavender color too, or purple, but it really kind of softened it down. And then the third one was a cream with speckles fingering weight yarn, and then the mohair was more of a soft burgundy or burgundy rose color, and that turned out so lovely too. So I just think these would be so adorable, like in a little bowl. They are not practical. They are not practical at all, but just a lovely little decoration, I think, for Valentine's Day. And I can see myself making many more of these little hearts because they work up really, really quickly. Yeah, it was really fun. And I did, yep, that is a free pattern too. And, you know, all of us who knit socks have so many fingering weight yarn scraps. You could get so many hearts. You can just make so many different combinations. You wouldn't have to use mohair. You could just do fingering weight. You could do DK weight. I mean, the sky's the limit with these. So I was really excited to find that sweet little heart pattern. Number 4 is a crochet pattern, and this one is a paid for pattern. Retails for $4.49 on Ravelry. This is the Floral Heart Coasters and Heart Basket by Susanne Grünes. And this pattern was brought to my attention by my friend Leslie. So thank you, Leslie, for sharing this pattern with me. It is a really neat pattern, and at some point I might love to do the whole basket with the different coasters set. I think it is so pretty. I had initially used a different pattern to crochet a heart coaster, but it was a free one, but it wasn't coming out with the defined, you know, lumps or bumps of the heart. It was not looking very heart-like. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to buy this pattern. I really like the looks of it. So here is the coaster. The center uses these lovely cluster stitches, so it does look like a flower burst there. And I think it definitely has its defined heart shape. I like some of the other ones in the photo where you are using different colors of yarn so that it definitely looks like a flower in the center. This was with leftover cotton yarn too, so I had enough to use. It's the same color red in this scrubby and in this coaster. I think as far as my red dishcloth cotton goes, I probably would only have enough maybe for the center left. Yeah, so I am working through my dishcloth cotton scraps this year, so really excited to put it in some different projects. And then I have this tag that says handmade with love that I put on there, but you can remove it easy enough to wash this. But this would be a cute coaster to put, you know, on your desk or, you know, next to your knitting chair around Valentine's time, just to know that a friend was thinking of you. So yeah, a really and this went so quickly. This was, you know, I would say a half hour at the most. If you're pretty familiar with crochet, and there is really good picture tutorials. So you are paying $4.50 for it, but a lot of work went into this pattern with all the picture tutorials. So if you're an experienced crocheter, this will go very fast. If you are a newer crocheter, there's definitely a guide there to help you. All right, and the final pattern is something that came out very recently. This is a paid-for pattern, and it's knitting. It costs $5, and this is the Candy Hearts Ear Warmers by Rosie Posie Knit. It's a worsted weight pattern, and I used leftovers again, and I think well, both of my yarns here are DK weight, and the pattern is worsted weight, but I knew that they were super washed and would grow a little bit. So I'm not going to put this on right now because this is still slightly damp. I did try it on earlier. It fits on my head, but maybe it's a little more snug than I would like. But I have a bigger head, so I think this would fit kind of an adult small or medium head. This was a really fun, fast color work pattern. Let's see. I'm trying to think what I was going to say. I weighed my gray yarn and my colored yarn. I don't remember what the gray yarn is, but the heart yarn is so pretty, and that's a Dragon Horde yarn colorway. But when I weighed it, I think the gray had like 36 grams left. So definitely great for leftovers in your stash. And if you don't have worsted weight, put a couple strands of a thicker finger weight together to get it. So you can just play around with it. But it turned out like this. There are 3 different patterns within the pattern for hearts all going in the same direction, or these, you know, alternating upside down, right side up hearts, which I just thought were really fun. And then the 3 rows of little hearts. So a very versatile pattern. I think it would be really cute in a lot of different color combinations. I love the pattern photos with the reds and the creams. I think they're pretty, but wanting to use up some stash, this felt really good. I started the ribbing on this, I'm trying to think, 2 nights ago. I started the ribbing before dinner. I guess I did it on Sunday night. I started the ribbing before dinner, and then I did a couple hours in the evening and completed it. So this was a very, very quick and fun project. this would be a great color work project if you want to, you know, dive in and try your hand at color work. It's not a big time commitment at all. And now, you know, I haven't done color work for a while, but it was really fun to dabble in the color work again. Yeah, it's not perfect, but I think it turned out really pretty. So I hope you have enjoyed seeing these few patterns. I should say that this ear warmer takes between 65 to 75 yards. So all of these are very manageable with leftovers in your stash, which makes them really, really fun projects to use and to make. So let me know if you have a favorite scrappy project or a favorite Valentine's Day project, or which of these projects today really caught your attention and that you might like to try making. So thank you so much for joining me for this fun, quick little video on Valentine Makes, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.